In this video, we want to create this shape that consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 boxes that contain spheres inside. Now, if you look carefully, let's drag a vertical line here and drag a line there. So from the center, we have 2 when you have 90 degrees. It means that the angle between every 2 is 45 degrees. So this is a vertical line, this is horizontal. So one and another, so we have 2 for 90 degrees, therefore 45 is the angle between every 2 boxes. So we know the angle, we have to create the shape and then duplicate. Let's do this over here. I need to create the box, so I'll start with a rectangle and make sure that snap is on. See, now I didn't use snap, therefore my creation was not precise because I have to choose snap to grid. Once I do snap to the grid, my box will be precise. So let's choose a color, any color, and then Alt and move this, and then Control left bracket to put it in the back, and I'll put it darker because it's in the back. So now I have 2. Now I need to create the sides. So I'll press Alt and move. Alright. And actually I'm gonna take this and move it up for a while and take this here. So that's gonna be the side. For it to become the side, I will go to my direct selection tool, select these points, 1 and 2, pressing shift to add to your selection, and then take them and place them there. So now that's the side. Let's change the color of the side. Alright, and then Alt and move to create the other side, but here I'll make it brighter. And then I'll take this one and put it back in place, but I need to move it to the front, so Control right bracket, and there's my box. Alright, I can make this a bit darker, and that's the lit side, that's why it's a bit brighter than the others. Okay, something like this. This can go a bit darker still because it's inside. So now everything is good and precise. Now we have to create the sphere that exists inside, and you see the highlight of the sphere. So let's create a circle with the ellipse tool, Shift and Alt. Shift to create a perfect circle, and Alt is to create it from the center. If I don't press Alt, it will be created not from the center but from the side. But Alt will create it from the center, which is easier to control. Alright, that's a circle. I need to fill it with a gradient so that I get a spherical appearance. For that, I'm gonna click here, and this will give it a gradient. Alright, and that's my gradient here. So if I click, I choose show options, and I can change from linear to radial. Okay, I don't want to have let me see if I have a stroke for the circle. Yes, I have a stroke. So this is where I changed the gradient to radial. Another place to change the gradient to radial is to go here to the fill and to choose a radial gradient, or linear in case I wanted to make it linear. In this case, radial. Now I need to change the colors of the gradient and the position of the gradient. Let's start with the colors. So I have white, and down here I have black. It needs to be something else. So if I double click on this color, I can change it from here. But this is all monochromatic, grayscale. I will click and choose RGB or HSB for hue, saturation, brightness. I can select a color and then make it either darker or brighter. Now to create the highlight, I need to set this highlight somewhere over here. So I'll click on the gradient tool and I'll click, and this will place the highlight in the place that I want to create the spherical appearance. So that's the circle. I need to place it now inside the box, so I'll drag it down like this, and Control left bracket to push it backwards. So something like that. Now I have my box. I can also type something on it. So I can go to my text tool and type, for example, top secret. Okay, now when I click on the right and left arrows, I'm jumping by 1 square at a time, and that's because of the snap to grid. So if I uncheck snap to grid, I can now move with lesser distances, like so. So I'm gonna bring it down. I'm gonna also rotate it from here, and I want to change the color, say to dark red. Of course, I can change the font from here. Alright, so now I have these objects that I want to convert into one object. So I'll select all of them and Control G to group them, or Object and Group. Alright, if I go to my layers, which is found here, that's layer 1. Here I have all these objects as a group. Alright, so I have it now. I need to duplicate it like we did before. So we go to the rotate tool, and the center of rotation is gonna be, say, here, right? So alt click, copy, but 15 degrees is not the right angle. So alt click again, 45 degrees, choose copy, Control D, and now my work is precise. And that's how I create this graphic. The extra was adding the text over here.